Carolina Panthers are going to be without their star running back Chuba Hubbard on Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. We are here to get you caught up on that news and everything else Panthers related. Let's go.
Brace yourself for the ultimate Carolina Panthers experience. Welcome to Two Growls, One Roar, the podcast that hits harder than a Luke Kuechly tackle. We're diving deep into the heart of Panther Nation, bringing you unrivaled passion, insider takes, and pure gridiron fire. From Wilmington to the cosmos, this is your home for the fiercest football talk east or west of Charlotte.
Welcome in, folks, to another edition of the Two Growls, One Roar podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys enjoy the look. We can only do so many episodes out here. And you'll have to forgive me, folks, because I am recording through the computer. Although you see a microphone, I don't have the other adapter. So we're pretending that we're recording here, but we're actually recording on our software through the Mac. But anyways, folks, we're not here to talk about that. If you are here, though, please hit that subscribe button. We're here to talk about the Carolina Panthers. And, man, the Carolina Panthers seem to find a way to face adversity no matter what's going on, whether it's in a game with turnovers or punt return touchdowns. Carolina Panthers like to give themselves an opportunity, and to be fair, an opportunity for adversity, that is. To be fair, Miami Dolphins going up, quite a bit on their side. It's a big game for two teams that are 1-3 right now in the very early part of the season, a quarter of the way through. I know mathematically speaking with the 17-game schedule, it's technically not. So I guess once we get through the first quarter, is that it? What's our quarter of the way point? Anyways, doesn't matter. We're here to talk about Chuba Hubbard and the fact that the Carolina Panthers do not have Chuba Hubbard, will not have him on Sunday as he is battling the calf. The news was reported early this morning. I saw it flurrying out, woke up a little bit early, happened to be on X, and it was reported. And so somewhere along the way, and I don't know that it's really a leak. You typically would want this stuff to come out as you get closer. You get your injury report and all those things and officially come out that way. But for whatever reason, the news broke earlier than normal. And you know what? Carolina Panthers fans are going to have to adapt to what we have. And what we have, well, we're going to talk about that in just a minute and what this is going to mean for Rico Dowdle. Do we trust him? Do we think that he's got enough? But before we get too far down the path of talking about Chuba Hubbard and this running back room and not having him, we're going to go back and talk through the other guys that are out for the Carolina Panthers. Some notable names. Number one, JT Sanders, who is battling that ankle injury. We knew he was week to week when that injury recurred. He is officially out. On top of that, Tershawn Wharton missing more time again, this time battling a toe. Unfortunately, he just hasn't been healthy. And that's a theme for the Carolina Panthers. Guys come in and we're not able to keep them healthy. Now, things happen during the course of a game, and I'm not talking about, knee injuries or anything to that extent, but things happen. You look at everything that's happened on the offensive line, the injuries, the bicep for Robert Hunt, and you have Chandler Zavala going on IR. I'm talking about Austin Corbett with his knee. It's been a difficult time because we thought coming into this season, Carolina Panthers offensive line is going to be a strength. Carolina Panthers receiving core, although not star-studded all-stars, was on the brink of breaking out into something special. And unfortunately, here we are. So Turk is out. And then lastly, pretty notable here, Chau Smith-Wade listed as a chest injury. He is out. Now, to be honest, I don't look at Chuba, JT, Turk, or Shaw as shocking developments, considering they missed both Wednesday and Thursday. Once you get into this, you missed Wednesday and Thursday. We know there's always a slight chance if you come back limited on Friday that there's a chance you can play, but more than likely you're going to be listed as doubtful. But that's where the Panthers sit. Now, the other three notable names right now, Patrick Jones, outside linebacker. He is good to go. Had to look at my list here. DeeJay Wonham, other outside linebacker, he is listed as questionable. He was a full participant today, so feel like he's going to be out there. Cam Jackson, also questionable with a knee. And then Xavier Legette, he's good to go. We'll see what that means for the Panthers offense. Cade Mays, Tero McMillan, and then listed as questionable coming off, and he's coming off of IR with his practice window. He is listed as questionable. That is LeBrian Ray. Now, positive news for Carolina Panthers fans is the fact that Jalen Coker going to have that practice window open up next week per Dave Canales. That gives us a chance to hopefully get him back in the lineup. Hate to say it, but is it going to be too little too late at this point? Are things going to implode so far? I know they're not going to cave in on the season, but this game in particular is a chance for the Carolina Panthers to get one. You need to win games like this. And I don't care where you are in terms of, establishing, making the playoffs. When you're establishing culture, you have to win these games. You really do, to show that you're turning the corner. Before I get too far down the path of talking about the Panthers roster that we're likely going to see, Storm Duck is listed out, cornerback for Miami, and then Cedric Wilson Jr. also listed as out. So you have two folks there. Everyone else looks like they're going to be good to go. Alec Ingold, Darren Waller. I would expect a lot of Darren Waller this week, continuing to work up his load, especially in the red zone. Ethan Bonner, Jordan Brooks, and Jonah Savania. Say that right for my Dolphins fans out there. Apologize if I don't. Now, looking at what we're going to see, knowing where the Panthers sit, David Moore is down, but that means that XL is back up. So we're going to see a heavy dose of Tero McMillan still. Hunter Renfrow, who's been pretty quiet, still out there. A lot of questions and decisions to be made as we move through this process, and Jalen Coker gets back out there. But at least for this week, Tero McMillan, Hunter Renfrow, Xavier Legette, and guess what, folks? A new addition who is going to see the field on the offensive side of the ball, Jimmy Horn Jr. Panthers are looking for an opportunity to exploit the speed that he brings. Now, is he going to be a Tyreek Hill? Because that's what people focus on when they talk about speed. Xavier Worthy, I don't know. But I'm just excited to see him get touches, get involved, and at the very least take the top off and maybe show folks, pull defenders away just a little bit, open some things up for some guys around him. Listening to a lot of the sports talk radio for the Panthers, Charlotte market, everything today. Some folks buying into XL and his return and what this is going to mean and the opportunity that it presents himself. Although if you watch his presser this week or the locker room scrum, you're not too impressed with what you heard about where he's at and what he's learned over the past 2 weeks of sitting out, which is to him was basically nothing. But you're going to have a good mix of it, and I'm excited to see him. And then Bryson Tremaine. On the offensive line, of course, working through what likely is going to be Ike Ekwonu, Damian Lewis, Cade Mays, and then Brady Christensen and Taylor Moton. We'll see how they finagle the roster because obviously depth is a concern. It's probably going to have to call up maybe one guy. The Panthers were pretty active this week with a few transactions with everything that transpired. And then as far as your tight ends, of course, Tommy Trimble, Mitchell Evans, and James Mitchell. For the defensive side of the ball, likely a dose of Bobby Brown, Ashawn Robinson, Derek Brown, sounds like Pat Jones, and DeeJay Wonnum hopefully goes. Trevin Wallace, Christian Roseboom still in the middle with Mike Jackson, J.C. Horn, Trayvon Merrick, Nick Scott. With the news that Chau Smith-Wade is out, I would think we'd get a little bit of Corey Thornton, if not a mixture of some of these packages with Trayvon Merrick actually coming in and playing down in the nickel in the box. So big opportunity for the Carolina Panthers, who sit right now at 1-3. Same record as the Dolphins, same record as the Baltimore Ravens, right? If you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, you got to feel like, okay, we're going to get out of this. But if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, you're like, nah, I don't know. I don't know if we can actually get out of this. So it is going to be a heavy dose, like we stated, of Rico Dowdle. On top of that, Etienne's going to be in the mix. And then newly signed DeeJay Dallas as a possibility. So it's a lot of moving parts for the Carolina Panthers. They did sign offensive tackle Jake Curran from the Cardinals to the active roster. We talked about DeeJay Dallas coming up. Travion Thomas, the safety. So you kind of finagle some of those things around, and that also probably justifies being able to move Merrick down into the nickel a little bit more. Now, the Carolina Panthers sit here today, this week, hoping to get back on track closer to the version of themselves that they were when they played none other than the Atlanta Falcons 2 weeks ago. Complete blowout, followed that up by a complete and utter fluster against the New England Patriots. Run off the field, special teams playing poorly. When we did our prediction this week, I predicted a Miami Dolphins win, only for the fact that I just don't know that the Panthers have it. I don't know if they can get over this hump, if Dave Canales can push it. We haven't seen the consistency. We've seen the blowouts. So I don't know if it can happen, but I do feel good about it. I think that shock isn't the right word because these are two bad football teams, but maybe go out there and prove people that, hey, we can get closer to this. And I tell you, you get this one, 2-3, a lot better than 1-4. Nobody wants to be 1-4. You get to 1-4, naturally things are going to creep in your mind about last year. And for those that have been here for multiple years, the year before that, just thinking through, oh my gosh, here we go again. Can we get back on track? Because it gets difficult. You're going to have a nice matchup with the Dallas Cowboys. That's always, in a way, a toss-up to a certain extent, followed by the Jets. We'll continue to emphasize the ability for the Carolina Panthers to get back on track. This is it, man. It's open in front of you. You're going to have the Bills coming pretty soon. Throwing a little game against New Orleans. You're going to have Green Bay going up there. So it's not going to get easier outside of New Orleans, but now it's a good opportunity for the Carolina Panthers. Well, folks, that's going to do it for today's episode. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.